Thank you very much, Jasmine. I really shouldn't be here at all because, strictly speaking, I'm an Ashoka Fellow in Kenya, in Africa. But I recently described Ashoka as being like a global network of guardian angels. And it's like a kind of duvet gently surrounding you wherever you are in the world, which is a great feeling to have. Now, it's always a challenge to talk about Africa because there are always so many stereotypes in people's minds. I want you to clear your mind and imagine, if you can, that you're walking through the bush in Kenya. It's hot enough in here, but it's a bit different. You've got maybe 5 camels you're walking with and maybe 20 goats. And those are all the assets you have in the whole world. So imagine the problem you would have if you lost them, as African livestock keepers regularly do. Diseases come through, droughts come through, and you've lost everything, all your assets. And last year, I'm sure you saw lots of ghastly photographs of the usual scene of destitute people in the Horn of Africa during a very bad drought in the Horn, which is actually quite normal. But a lot of those animals were lost because of problems and with diseases. And sometimes a whole herd can be wiped out, which is, of course, leaves people destitute and dependent on food aid. But equally, livestock are a hugely, potentially productive asset. And actually, if you met most of Kenya's leaders, you will find that most educated Kenyans are educated on the back of the money that their parents got from the sale of milk from dairy cows. So I've spent about 30 years of my life trying to unlock the potential locked up in valuable assets that very poor people keep, but could be turned into very productive assets. And the problem that people have is that they live in remote places very far from qualified professional advice. And when they do have access to products, they frequently are offered counterfeit or understrength products by crooks and quacks who just want to make money and not offer a proper service. So I spent a lot of time, particularly, as Yasmin mentioned, through the NGO Farm Africa, developing fantastic models that really work, but through are supported on short-term project grant funding, which I believe is wholly unsatisfactory for Africa. It leads to short-term thinking, and what Africa needs is long-term thinking, long-term investment. And I reflected a lot in my frustration in running Farm Africa, and I thought, well, farmers are willing to pay for the service. The people who provide the service make money from providing that service. Isn't that what's called a business? So I set up Sidai last year. Sidai means good in Maasai. Maasai are very famous livestock keepers, of course. And we're trying to build a network of franchises under the common brand Sidai. So we're franchising vets, livestock technicians, qualified people, offering quality services to people all across Kenya. And our ambition is to have at least 150 to 200 franchises across the country, and that eventually Sidai will be like the Boots, if you like, or the McDonald's of the livestock farming sector, and that we will have create a safe haven of trust where farmers can go, get good advice and quality products. We are changing the balance of power through the franchising model because we're buying centrally on behalf of the whole network. So we're changing the balance of power, if you like, between some of the pharmaceutical companies and farmers and the people who work directly with farmers. And I'd be very welcome to talk to anybody who can help us with some of our distribution challenges. We're essentially in the fast-moving consumer goods business. It's just that the goods are consumed by animals and rather than people. But it's a huge challenge getting goods, quality products and services to the farmers at the last mile. But franchising can offer many advantages in actually achieving that. Recently, we anticipate break even and reach profitability in about 4.5 years' time. Recently I was in one of our centres in Marseilland, and an old lady came in saying that she had trouble with a disease in her sheep and goats, and that they were dying of a very mysterious disease. From the symptoms she described, it was very obvious what the disease was, and the Sidai team knew exactly what it was. We had the vaccine in stock. She was able to buy the vaccine, vaccinate her animals, and she avoided losing 150 sheep and goats. How simple is that?